What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another action figure review video. I'm Avionics, and in today's video we are taking a look at the new Skell-Ra, the ever-living evil of Eternia, Masters of the Universe Thundercats crossover action figure line by Mattel. First of all, I do want to apologize if you hear my 3D printer printing in the background as it's going and it is not stopping. But yeah, so this one is a $30 action figure, and you can see how big this is. Now this is a brand new line, and the first wave is Skell-Ra, Lion-O, Cheetara, and Battle Cat, and this is similar to their Masters of the Universe Turtles of Grayskull crossover action figures, which we will bring into the mix in the video later to show a size and scale comparison. But these are basically like MOTU Origins action figures, but with Thundercats. So this is the nice graphical front of the packaging, and look at this, unpunched. This came from Amazon, by the way, $30, Amazon, and this came unpunched, but I'm an out-of-box collector, so I don't care about that. If you turn it around to this side, we've got a view of Skeletor. Turn it around this side, we have a view of Mumm-Ra. Yeah, so he is interchangeable. You can go between Mumm-Ra or Skeletor, that's why they call it Skell-Ra. But I bought two of them because I want both displayed at once. I don't want to have to mess around. But here is the back of the awesome box. Got some great artwork up here, and then it does show a little paragraph there which says Skeletor discovered the mysterious black pyramids on Eternia. Now with the strength of Mumm-Ra granted to him by the ancient spirits of evil, Skell-Ra, the ever-living, comes after the power of Grayskull, and he is more dangerous than ever before. So yeah, it says it includes two character cards right here, and close up here it says replace head to turn Skell-Ra into Mumm-Ra, reversible cape for both characters, place the Sword of Plundar in hand, and then the rest of the first wave. And then at the very bottom you just have the licensing and the UPC barcode. And it says here, 1 figure, 7 accessories. Alright, let's go ahead and crack him open. So as the box mentions, Skell-Ra comes with 2 collector's cards or bio cards. So we have this half that says Skell-Ra, the ever-living evil of Eternia, and on the back you can go ahead and pause that and read it, but it's basically the paragraph for Skeletor. And then the other one, it just has the Masters of the Masters of the Universe and Thundercats crossover logo. So if you were to put the two together, you have Skell-Ra, and on the back of this one is the bio for Mumm-Ra. So if you want to go ahead and read that one, go ahead and pause it. And then just like the Turtles of Grayskull and other MOTU Origins action figures, it shows how to switch out parts to transform from Skeletor to Mumm-Ra. So we will be doing that here shortly. Alright, so now the action figure and all of the accessories are out. So by default, obviously you saw in the package that we have Skeletor's head as the default sculpt coming out of the packaging, but it looks really cool. You have that like neon green skull, and you can see that he has red painted pupils in those eye sockets of his, but the sculpt looks really cool. And then the horns look real nice, almost the same color as the skull, and going all the way around. The hood looks really good, and even the crest it's painted gold and looks really nice. And then of course when you're gonna switch heads, we have Mumm-Ra in the ever-living form, and he also has red like dots or pupils painted on top of the black, but the sculpt of his teeth look really good, and his helmet and the crest also looks really good, and the 2 snakes at the top, and then the red bandages look really nice and all wild looking. That's really cool. And then the black part of the hood or helmet, I guess. So yeah, so 2 heads, and then he's gonna come with some almost translucent whitish bandages. So this one would wrap around his arm. In the instructions it shows that it would go on his left arm, but I'm sure you can put on his right arm as well. And then Mumm-Ra comes with the wraps that would wrap around his head and somewhat around his chest. And then on the back you do have the 2 peg holes to attach the cape. And then the cape is reversible, as the box mentions. So this dark purple or violet is basically for Skeletor. So on the back of the action figure we have the 2 holes right there. So if you're gonna display him as Skell-Ra, you just plug in the post, the peg into like that, put it on the other side, and now we have Skell-Ra with his cape that can articulate if you want, like that. It's all torn and tattered. And the red side for when we switch it over to Mumm-Ra. So like I said, I bought two, so I'm gonna go ahead and bust out the other one here shortly so they can stand side by side and we can see the difference between a side by side of Skeletor and Mumm-Ra. But let's go ahead and take this off for now. And then part of Mumm-Ra's outfit, we have the, what do you call this? Loincloth or skirt? I don't know what you call it. But yeah, it's very accurate to the cartoon where it's split red and like a dark violet with the yellow paint accents and then the ridges along the trim here. So this looks really good. So essentially, you would just like any other MOTU character, MOTU action figure, you can swap it out like this. Just decapitate your action figure, swap this in like so, and now we have the lower torso, sorry, the skirt, whatever you want to call it, on. Snap him back in like that, and then you're gonna remove that just like this, and then just like probably just remove the arms. Yeah, so you just remove the arms just like any other MOTU Origins or Turtles of Grayskull. Yeah, so go ahead and remove this. Underneath we still have a Mumm-Ra snake logo. Pull off Skeletor's head, and now we can pop on Mumm-Ra's head. Everything is nice and easy. If you're familiar with MOTU Origins and Turtles of Grayskull, they're made to be like this, where you can just kind of swap out parts and have fun with them, make your own little custom figures if you wanted to, really. But so there is Mumm-Ra, and let's go ahead and attach his capes. Actually, I'm sorry, I did that wrong because we're supposed to put on the bandages here. So now we take the torso, wrap this around like that, wrap this over the neck, just like that. We're gonna plug him back in. Now we can put on the arms, and then go ahead and slap his head, his noggin on there. And now we have, all we gotta do now is put on his cape with the red side facing towards him. All right, so there we go. And then we have, let's go ahead and leave him as Mumm-Ra here. So here's a closer look at the Sword of Plundar, the double-edged sword. And we got the nice painted handle, or it's not painted, it's just plastic in that color, but it has the snake heads, and it's flexible. So we're gonna just take our Mumm-Ra, and before we put his weapon in hand, let's go ahead and throw in the arm bandage, and then let's go ahead, and he doesn't come with any extra hands, so he's just gonna have a right gripping and a left gripping hand. All right, so there we go. We have our Mumm-Ra, like so. Now let's take a closer look at the action figure itself. Once again, underneath the chest harness still is a nice clear logo for Mumm-Ra, and then you know it just so happens they have the same color skin, Skeletor and Mumm-Ra, so that's going to work out quite well. But we have his shin armor that they would both share, and then looks like we have yellow furry feet for both as Skeletor and Mumm-Ra with sculpted toenails. So I brought him back into Skeletor form. Now let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation. And like I said, this is I feel like this is taller than a regular MOTU Origins action figure. So he's pretty tall, but articulation is going to be the same as any other Mattel Origins or Turtles of Grayskull action figure. Arms all the way up, all the way around. We have the less than 90 degrees, actually about 115 or maybe 20 degrees range of motion at the arm. You got the elbow swivel, of course we have the waist swivel, and then legs all the way up, kicking all the way forward. Single articulation and swivel at the knee, and then rocker, swivel, and hinge at the feet. So here are all 4 action figures of the new Mattel Masters of the Universe Thundercats action figure line with Cheetara, Lion-O, Battle Catman, and Skell-Ra all side by side from shortest to tallest. Alright, so if you decided to buy 2 of these, just like I did, here are Skeletor and Mumm-Ra standing side by side with their respective outfits. Now one complaint that I only have is I wish that, you know, because Mumm-Ra came with the Sword of Plundar, it'd be nice if they added just one extra weapon for Skeletor to have his scepter. I think that would have been just fine and still be able to have the same price point. Alright, so here they are with Turtles of Grayskull, Krang, and King Hiss / Foot Soldier. With Turtles of Grayskull, 2 Bobsteady, and Michelangelo. And then here they are with Masterverse New Eternia Skeletor and Masterverse He-Man. And here I busted out my Super 7 Mumm-Ra and Lion-O, which are Ultimate Action figures. And as you can tell, the shin armor that came with Skell-Ra is actually the ones from the actual Mumm-Ra from the cartoon series, as they do share, in fact, the same kind of like design. And that's where, I didn't realize that first, but that's where the hairy feet come in. Here's just a little bit of a better view of Super 7 Ultimate Mumm-Ra standing next to Skell-Ra, and then Lion-O all the way to his left. So yeah, there is our Skell-Ra, our $30 action figure, which you can find on Amazon and Target. Part of the new action figure line by Mattel, MOTU and Thundercats crossover, similar to our Turtles of Grayskull. But yeah, I'm looking forward to being I wouldn't say be all in on this line, because we don't know how far deep they're going to go. But you know, Thundercats was something I grew up watching, and Panthro was my favorite Thundercat. So I'm looking forward to, like, I don't think they even shown digital renders yet of Wave 2 yet. They might have. If they have, let me know down in the comment section below so I can Google it, because I definitely want to check out who all is going to be in Wave 2. I assume they're going to go and do like the main core villains too, you know, with Slythe and Jackalman. But yeah, that'd be cool if they just got all the core characters, and then, you know, Tigra, Jaga, and then Wily Kit and Wily Cat, and Snarf. So if you guys enjoyed watching this action figure review, I'd appreciate it. Hit that like button. Leave all your comments and thoughts down below. And once again, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified of new videos like this. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.